I feel like I feel like us. I mean, I think I've derailed this whole thing by talking about the moon. I've done it again. Like we've done all these
No,
podcast
it's
episodes
okay.
that we've
It's
done.
okay.
I always bring up the moon and I derail everything. I can't help it. It's the most fascinating thing ever. It's just it's right there. I just
The moon is a
Yeah.
regular patron on our podcast.
yes.
Awesome.
It's so close. It's so visible. I mean, often I spend a lot of time looking through a telescope at the moon. I just it's I mean, how can you not be inspired and in awe of the moon in space and
Well, we
be
try.
and have the mindset that hey, we're the only ones out here enjoying this. That's just so. I mean, there's got to be more to it, right, guys?
Oh yeah.
Well, you got to think about early astronomy and Galileo and what they did when they sat underneath the stars and literally mapped them out.
Right.
Can you
Exactly.
imagine what that was like?
It's
Wow.
super awesome.
I mean, of course, they weren't worrying about text messages and Instagram posts back then either.
Oh, they just had to worry about being burned as heretics. But
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Hey, what is it you're doing?
well, what
over
drives
there?
me crazy is you look up at the moon and there's this beautiful sphere and with all this detail, and you put your phone up to take a photo and it looks like a street light.
Right. Yes.
Exactly.
I'm like, seriously, come on.
I want to be honest.
But
The magic of cameras.
Exactly.
Well, I
But when
think
you
But
get
there
a
are-
really good camera and
Yeah.
you start to see the craters around the edges,
right.
it's just it's great. It's magnificent.
Awesome. Awesome.
And Barbara has a really good camera.
Right. I was gonna say you're right, and not enough people have those cameras. Specifically myself, I do know some really great photographers though that have done some really awesome photography of the moon, like during like the lunar eclipses and things like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't get enough of the moon. I mean, I don't know if I go as far as like Jose Escamilla, like the true colors of the moon, like they don't want us to see what color it is. I don't know why he would think that, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that I cannot stop reading or watching about the moon. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it. It's crazy,
Well,
actually.
when you watch some of the, I guess, like PBS channels and stuff, you'll see in between shows these two guys that comes on and talks about the stars. And one of them's from the Cincinnati Observatory.
Okay.
okay.
We've had him on the show too, and he's really fascinating. So he'll tell you everything. I mean, he's just tons of information. He's got a couple books out too, and I can look his name up and let
Definitely,
you guys know
I
that.
would
Yeah,
definitely like to
TJ,
know that.
maybe, yeah, I was gonna say maybe we should get this guy's name so maybe he can be on one of our future episodes.
So he can validate all my claims.
Well, I'll tell you what he says because he looks through the telescope all the time from the observatory, and he has never seen a UFO. So
Well,
maybe
no,
that
he wouldn't see him in
So?
between the moon and Earth because
Yeah.
they
Well, he don't just look at
they,
the moon.
they come in through wormholes and
Oh,
closer to the surface of the Earth.
wormholes, huh?
Yes, sir.
Have they
Now, you
proved-
wouldn't think they'd have to come that far. They wouldn't have to bend time and space in order to do it.
Barbara might be able to tell you something about that.
Oh, well, no, he's actually kind of correct. Space travel is we think of like through Star Trek and warp drive and all of that may be fine, but getting across the galaxy, I don't think it's
Well,
unless you're able to a portable Stargate system.
There you go. Yeah.
There's got to be some way that you have that there is a being. I mean, we know that you can bend space and time, but you have to be able to willfully control that.
Right.
And I would think that a civilization that may be 1,000,000 years older than us may already have that technology.
Yeah, one would think.
You got to
I mean, it would
figure.
make sense.
You got to figure some of these places has been there a lot longer than us, and look how far we've developed in, say, the past couple hundred years. Think of them if they're a couple 100,000 years ahead of us, and who knows what kind of materials or that they might have on their planets. Just think what they've accomplished.
Well, I mean, for me, it's not even what kind of materials, but their approach. We've spent millennia trying to bend nature to our will. They could have spent a millennia using nature to their favor. So they could use the nature of things in the universe to their advantage. Like, we're always trying to push through with a rocket and all the gasoline we can. Maybe they're just like, we're going to take the universe's energy and push ourselves through time and space that way. Who knows? Unfortunately, it's hard to look at things that way because we don't know how they would do things because we are not them. So we're kind of we're in our own bubble in our own technology space. So
you get all the people who are Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was going to say the human arrogance, like, well, if we can't do it, nobody else can.
Right.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah. And
well, I can say that, but I mean, I guess that goes to how far does that saying really go? You know what I mean? It only takes common sense and just a little bit of thought to understand the vastness of a galaxy and how we can't even escape our own yet.
Right.
We can't even get out of ours.
We're even farther out than the suburbs of the galaxy.
Mm.
So you go. I mean, you just think about that for a minute and think about, could we possibly be the only ones? And why is it that every time there's an alien, it's uglier than hell and doesn't have a suntan?
Well, they said.
I mean, is that what human evolution does in a million years? Realizes that hair and pigment is useless. That would just get rid of it.
Well, it's some of the lockdown. never ends.
Okay.
Well, they say that there's like, how many is it, Barbara? 100,000 or million planets that could be like Earth in our galaxy.
Yeah, a lot more than that. Yeah.
Right.
I forget what the equation is now, but it's a lot.
It's immeasurable, really.
A lot of them, but not obviously that many, but there's proof out there that they're like planets. If we could just get to them.
Yeah, right now that's not foreseeable. We don't have
no.
We don't have the technology.
Reverse
engineer some of the ships they catch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and just getting back out, into the podcast realm for just a second, and to shift gears. TJ and I, we started off podcasting and knowing that we were going to have to make a lot of adjustments the first couple times that we did podcasting together and all of that. And so when we started podcasting, it was kind of just him and I just kind of randomly going over a bunch of different topics. And we could never stay on one topic. And because him and I have got so many different things to say about anything. So if anything is said that we could possibly take the left fork in the road, it always happens. And we don't mean it, but it always does. So now that him and I have kind of gotten this, 7 or 8 episodes in us, and we've been moving right along with this, people are going to see that our guests for the podcast coming up are going to start ramping up, and we're going to be having a lot of people on the show. Some really notable names, and I can't say anything right now, but.
Jason knows everyone. I've found that there's not too many people that Jason does not know. So I'm cautiously optimistic about the future, but I'm very, very excited about where we're going with what we're doing. I feel like it's going to be really, really awesome.
So how long are your podcasts? Do you have a set time, or
they range between an hour to 2 hours. It just really all it depends on how the conversation's going, how it flows. We don't like to cut things off, like we got a set time, we have to be done at this time. It's just we're going to let the conversation go. And we just had Jeff Mudgett on from the American Ripper series on the History Channel.
Right.
I wrote Bloodstains. And that, that went like 2 hours and 15 minutes before we even knew it. So it's really difficult
They
to
go
kind
by
of
fast
put ourselves in a
sometimes.
box.
Yes. So do you tape them and then replay them on your network?
Well, what I do is there's one or two things. I do another podcast as well as has nothing to do with this. It has to do with window cleaning, which is a snoozer. But what we do is we do the shows live. I record them while we're doing them live, and then I upload them to Podbean, and that automatically uploads to Spotify and iTunes. So there's both a video version and an audio version of both. So you'll be able to, if you want to be live and participate with us, you can do that on our Facebook page, or you can go back later and listen to the episodes for free on iTunes or wherever, So I feel like that's the best way. So, because not everyone can be there at a certain time for that amount of time, Some people like to listen at work, and, so you kind of give people as much opportunity to hear what you're talking about as possible.
Wow.
Yeah, and what we're really trying to do is with Facebook is we're trying to appeal to the people who we know, who are friends of ours, who are there to support, and to open it up and make them as interactive as possible and kind of give them a voice. And then by uploading to iTunes and Podbean and whatnot, we're actually literally trying to branch out to the world. Here, find stuff that you like and that we're talking about, and come over to our show. Now, we're not a polished show whatsoever.
No.
So you will hear F-bombs, and you'll hear some pretty dialed down stuff. But we are passionate about what we do, and we are serious first and foremost. I mean, we really do research our topics and things like that. And like I said, we're really passionate about what we talk about.
I mean, we got a lot of passion for the subjects that we speak about, but we also have we're also very lighthearted. We have, me and Jason have we like to rib each other, and we like to keep it light as possible, because I feel like there's a lot of shows out there which I listen to on a regular basis, I can't get enough of, that are, a little drier in nature, and I feel like what we wanted to do with this show is it'd be like me and Jason sitting around the backyard, a fire, just having a couple of beers and just shooting the breeze.
Yeah, we're like
the
Wayne's World of the podcast world.
Except for a little bit of the moon involved there.
Did any of you guys watch Wayne's World?
No.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, that's kind of it, a little bit.
Yes.
Well, I gotta say, I just before it's coming up. I know I told you that I could only do an hour and my time is up. I just wanted to tell you guys that I really appreciate you having Jason and I on.
No
and I would like to come back where I could maybe spend a little more time with you guys. If you guys would have us, I would love to come back again. Unfortunately, the way this worked out, I wasn't able to find all the time necessary to do this.
Before you run.
And I have questions about cleaning single pane windows. So
I'll tell you right now, a couple of gallons of warm water and a little bit of dish soap, maybe a splash of ammonia, a very good scrub, and a very nice squeegee with a nice rubber in it, and you're good to go.
Okay.
Don't forget to towel those edges.
Yeah, and make sure you wipe the edges too.
Right. I figured Barbara would have at least one question for you.
About single pane windows? Yeah.
Yeah. Those right there.
I know a window cleaner in your area if you need one. I do know.
We do.
Yeah, if anyone listening needs a window cleaner, just get a hold of me and Jason on the Firelands Podcast page, and we'll hook you guys up with an awesome window cleaner.
we know people all over the country that are window cleaners. But one of our really good friends is actually in San Diego, so I don't know how far away that is from you guys.
That's quite a ways for her.
Technically close to me, but far enough to be inconvenient.